Welcome, everyone. In today's Explainer, we're tackling a really fascinating story from the blockchain world. It's about a project that had, well, maybe one of the biggest starts ever, faced some serious heat, but then didn't just disappear. It reinvented itself.
Yeah, we're talking about EOS, the EOSIO tech behind it, and it's pretty bold move to rebrand as Vaulta.
Exactly. So our plan is to unpack that whole journey, the big launch, the bumps in the road, and how the community basically stepped in to steer it towards this new future in Web3 banking.
It's quite a tale, really. Shows a lot about the tech, community power, and just how fast things change in this space.
Before we dive in, just a quick heads up. The info we're discussing comes from various online sources and was compiled with AI assistance. We aim for accuracy, but, errors can happen.
Absolutely. And remember, nothing here is financial advice. This is purely for educational insight. Always do your own research, use your judgment.
Okay, let's get into it. So EOS, it arrived with a bang, didn't it? Take us back to the beginning.
Oh, definitely. It was announced July 2nd, 2017, developed by a company called Block.one.
Block.one, right? And key figures involved.
Yeah, Daniel Larimer was a co-founder. He's famous for inventing delegated proof of stake, DPoS, which is core to EOS. And Ian Grigg, a financial cryptographer, was also involved.
And that bang you mentioned, the ICO.
Huge, record-breaking at the time. The initial coin offering ran through 2017 into 2018, pulled in something like $4 billion, maybe even a bit more, $4.2 billion, depending on the source.
$4 billion. That's just staggering. What was the plan? What was that money supposed to build?
The vision was massive. They called it an operating system for blockchain. Think of it like a foundational layer designed specifically for big consumer-level decentralized apps, or dApps.
So trying to go beyond what Bitcoin or Ethereum could do at the time.
Exactly. They were looking straight at the limitations, mainly scalability and transaction costs. Bitcoin was doing maybe 3-4 transactions per second, Ethereum maybe 15-20. EOSIO, the tech underneath, was aiming for thousands, even, potentially millions eventually.
Millions per second. Okay, that's a different league. How was the technology EOSIO actually designed to achieve that?
How?
And what were the early challenges?
Well, the heart of it was that delegated proof of stake, DPoS mechanism we mentioned.
Right. How did that work differently?
So instead of everyone validating, token holders vote for a set number of block producers, usually 21. These guys are responsible for actually confirming transactions and securing the network.
Okay, so fewer validators, faster processing.
That was the idea, speed and efficiency. But, it immediately raised questions about centralization, having only 21 entities making blocks. That was a trade-off, a controversial one.
I could see that. And the transaction speed claims. Did they get close to those huge numbers?
In early tests, yeah. They had this WebAssembly, or WASM, implementation. Trials showed some contracts hitting 50,000 transactions per second, which back then was just mind-blowing compared to the alternatives.
Wow. And the other big promise was free transactions, right? How did that work? No gas fees.
Well, free is maybe stretching it slightly. The idea wasn't zero cost, but a different model. Users would stake their EOS tokens.
Stake them for what?
To get access to network resources, things like CPU time, network bandwidth, and importantly, RAM. RAM was and still is something you actually buy at market price on the network. It's like a commodity.
Ah, okay. So you lock up tokens to get usage rights rather than paying per transaction, like owning a piece of the network's capacity.
Exactly. It shifted the economics. If you held EOS, you got resources. It incentivized holding, but wasn't technically free if you factor in the opportunity cost of staking and the cost of RAM.
Interesting model. What about for developers? Was it easy to build on, and could it adapt?
It was designed to be pretty flexible. One key thing was upgradability. Unlike some blockchains needing a disruptive hard fork for big changes, EOSO aimed to let dApps upgrade more smoothly.
And block producers could even freeze faulty apps.
Yeah, temporarily. That was a kind of safety mechanism. Plus, they provided toolkits, libraries, APIs, tried to make it easier for devs, especially using C++10.
And there was this whole governance thing, too. A constitution.
On-chain governance built right in. It used something called a Ricardian contract, basically. A contract that's readable by humans and machines linked directly to the code.
So, like, rules enforced by the blockchain itself.
Sort of, yeah. It laid out a framework for arbitration, for electing block producers, for voting on protocol upgrades, a whole system for self-governance. Very ambitious.
Okay, so you have this incredibly ambitious tech, record funding.
Yeah.
But then things started to go sideways. What happened? Why did it stumble?
Yeah, this is where the bumpy ride, as some called it, really began. Despite the huge funding, delivering on all those grand promises proved difficult. Relevance started to fade a bit.
And the centralization concerns around DPoS didn't go away.
No, they persisted. That limited number of block producers was a constant point of criticism, even if proponents said it was needed for performance.
And security scares, too.
Yeah.
I remember something right before the launch.
Oh, yeah. That was bad timing. May 2018, just days before the planned mainnet launch, a cybersecurity firm in China, Qihu 360, reported some major vulnerabilities, like potential for stealing tokens or even taking over the system.
Ouch. How did Block.1 handle that?
They said most issues were fixed, but then they launched a bug bounty program right after, which just, fueled more concern. And it didn't help that EOS got mentioned on John Oliver's show.
Ah, right. Highlighting the risks of crypto investments without a working product.
Exactly. That kind of mainstream scrutiny wasn't ideal. And Brock Pierce, one of the Block.1 co-founders, actually left the company around that time.
So external pressure, internal issues. What about the community? Were developers happy?
There was growing frustration there, too. A feeling that Block.1, despite sitting on billions, wasn't providing enough funding or support for the developers actually building on EOS. Plus, some early technical hiccups with things like shared bandwidth didn't help the user experience.
It sounds like a perfect storm brewing, which leads to Block.1 seemingly stepping back. What happened there?
Yeah, this is the crux of the community rebellion story. Block.1, despite having all that capital from the ICO, seemed to just drift away from core EOSIO development.
Drift away how? What were they focusing on instead?
Well, critics called them vanity projects. There was a social media platform, Voice, which later pivoted to NFTs, didn't really take off, and a crypto exchange called Bullish. Again, limited success.
So the perception was they took the EOS money and used it elsewhere.
That was the concern, yeah. Whispers about using ICO funds to buy Bitcoin, setting up flashy offices, while the core tech team felt under-resourced. It definitely bred resentment and accusations of negligence.
And Daniel Larimer leaving must have hurt confidence, too.
Absolutely. When the original CTO and inventor of DPoS resigned from Block.1, that was a big blow to trust. Then there was the SEC settlement.
Right, they paid $24 million.
Yeah, to settle charges related to the ICO possibly being an unregistered security offering. Though that settlement was later overturned, it added to the cloud hanging over Block.1.
So Block.1 fades out. Who fills the vacuum? The community.
Precisely. This is where it gets really interesting. November 2021, a key community figure, Yves LaRose, stood up and basically said, EOS is a failure.
Wow. Blunt assessment.
Very. But it wasn't just criticism, it was like a call to action, a rallying cry.
And the community responded.
They did. Groups like EOS Nation, with Yves LaRose really leading the charge, decided they had to save the network themselves.
Was it smooth sailing? Did Block.1 just let them?
Not exactly. Apparently, community efforts to set up their own funding systems, like a worker proposal system, were actively blocked by Block.1. Some even mention veiled threats.
So a real fight for control.
Seems like it. But the community persisted. Key block producers, including folks from related chains like Telos and development groups like Greymass Aaron Cox was involved there, formed the Antelope Coalition.
Antelope Coalition, what was their goal?
To basically fork the EOSIO code and take over development themselves.
Yeah.
They declared the community was now in the driving seat.
They actually did it.
Yep. September 2022. EOS officially switched over to this community-led code base called Leap 3.1 via a hard fork. It was a massive statement of independence from Block.1.
That's incredible. Really shows the power of the dedicated community.
Totally. Everyone involved seemed to agree. The community itself was the most valuable asset, more than the initial tech or even the funding. It's a lesson in decentralized governance, really.
Which brings us to the next chapter, Vaulta. This wasn't just a software update. This is a full rebrand.
A radical transformation, as the EOS Network Foundation put it, announced March 19th, 2025. They rebranded the whole thing to Vaulta.
Just to be clear, Vaulta isn't a new project. It is EOS, just renamed and refocused.
Exactly. It's the evolution of EOS. The stated reason was clear: cut ties with the Block.1 baggage and give the ecosystem a sharp new focus.
How did the rebrand actually happen? Was it a community vote this time?
Interestingly, no. The announcement came directly from the EOS Foundation, now led by Yves LaRose. It suggests a shift where the foundation took a more direct leadership role in this strategic pivot.
And the token changed too.
A 1.1 swap started around May 14th from the old EOS token to the new Vaulta token, ticker $1. Getting support from major exchanges like Binance early on definitely helped market confidence.
Okay, so new name, new token. What's the new vision for Vaulta? What's this specialized focus?
Web3 banking. That's the laser focus now. They're aiming to be a dedicated platform for decentralized financial services. Think wealth management, DeFi, payments, all built on this high-performance layer.
A Web3 banking.
Ah.
That's specific. What makes Vaulta suitable for that? What are the key features now?
Well, they're leaning into the strengths of the underlying tech, but refining it for finance. First, it's still built for speed and scale. That high transaction throughput and low fees are crucial for banking applications. They also introduced something called the Savannah protocol. It enhances the DPoS consensus, aiming for like half-second block times and deterministic finality in just 1 second using advanced cryptography BLS quorum certificates. Super fast, super final, essential for finance.
Okay, speed and finality. What else?
Flexibility for developers is still key. They have the Vaulta EVM, which means it's compatible with Ethereum's Solidity language, so Ethereum devs can jump over easily. But they also kept the native VM for C++ development. Best of both worlds.
That EVM compatibility is a big deal for DeFi integration.
Huge. And then there's the really unique piece, Bitcoin integration.
How are they integrating Bitcoin? That's not typically straightforward.
They're using something called the XSAT virtual chain. Think of it like a secure bridge built specifically to connect Bitcoin to Vaulta. XSAT has its own consensus mechanism, a mix of proof of stake, proof of work, and DPoS, and its own validators, including some big crypto institutions.
And what does this bridge allow?
It enables native Bitcoin staking and yield generation directly on Vaulta. So you can take your Bitcoin, bring it onto Vaulta via XSAT, and put it to work in DeFi, earning yield. That significantly boosts Bitcoin's utility beyond just being a store of value. It seems Vaulta's success is now pretty tightly linked with XSATs.
That sounds powerful, bringing Bitcoin yield into DeFi natively. What else is part of the Vaulta package?
They're highlighting advanced account controls, flexible permissions, multi-sig support, sub-accounts, threshold approvals, all stuff you need for secure financial operations. And that RAM mechanism we talked about, still there. Programmable on-chain memory, bought and sold, providing scarce resources for dApps. Interoperability is also built in, with APIs to connect to other chains.
So a lot of features tailored for this Web3 banking vision. How does the governance work now post-rebrand? And what about the dollar token?
Governance seems more distributed now, but with clear leadership roles. You've got the Vaulta Foundation, led by Yves Larose as CEO, plus entities like Vaulta Labs for development and Vaulta Ventures for ecosystem growth.
Yeah.
And the block producers are still elected by token holders.
So token holders still have a say.
Yes. While the rebrand itself wasn't an on-chain vote, all Toza token holders can stake their tokens, earn rewards, vote for block producers, and vote on protocol upgrades. So they theoretically shape the future direction. And really telling for the banking focus, they set up a banking advisory council.
What was that?
Veteran leaders from both traditional finance and Web3. Names like Lawrence True, Didier Lavelle, Alexander Nelson, Jonathan Rizzo from ATB Financial. People with experience in compliance, scalability, global finance. Their job is to guide Vaulta towards real-world banking utility and regulatory alignment.
That's a serious move, bridging the old and new financial worlds.
Sure.
Okay, finally, how's Vaulta doing now? How popular is it, and what's the WADA token used for?
Well, based on recent data, a wild hour is ranked somewhere around 94th by market cap on Binance. Market cap hovering in the, say, $820 to $870 million range, with a total supply of $2.1 billion tokens.
And the token's role?
It's pretty essential. You use $1 for staking to earn yield, for voting and governance, paying transaction fees, accessing those network resources like RAM and bandwidth. It's also the core asset for DeFi on Vaulta, both native and the Bitcoin stuff via XSAT. And you can wrap it or bridge it to other chains too for liquidity. It powers everything from DeFi to GameFi to NFTs on the platform.
What a roller coaster. From that massive ICO and Block.one's initial vision, through the controversy and community takeover, to this focused rebrand as Vaulta. It's been quite the transformation.
It really has. Moving from a general-purpose dApp platform ambition to this very specific Web3 banking infrastructure focus. It's all about speed, that unique Bitcoin integration via XSAT, and this new, more structured governance approach now.
Vaulta's story really drives home how crucial adaptability and community are in blockchain. A project can seem down and out, but with the right drive, it can completely redefine itself.
Absolutely. So as Vaulta pushes forward trying to merge traditional finance with DeFi, it makes you wonder, what does this highly focused strategy mean for the future of digital banking? How will something like Vaulta challenge or maybe even integrate with the financial systems we use today? Something to think about.